Let's call the meeting to order. I'm Molly Lambert, for those of you that don't know that. And when Crystal gets here, we're going to make a little motion, and we're going to thank Betsy Fournier for all of her great help and assistance and vitality and energy and get-goingness. But she had to step away from the chair's position. As life goes, those things happen. So when Crystal gets here, she's going to do a motion to appoint me interim chair just for this meeting and the next meeting that we have in what month would that be? May, I think. Yeah. So bear with me, bear with us all as we try to keep the energy going and the enthusiasm going in the right direction. But thank you again for being here. The next item on the agenda, well, first of all, review the agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change or add or?
I'd like to add something under new business.
Okay.
And it's a donation request from the Swanton Chamber.
Okay.
And I will explain that when we get to that point.
Great. Anything else? Okay, we'll carry on. We have a review of the minutes from January 9th, 2025. Those of you who are on the steering committee as committee chairs or so forth have received a copy of the minutes. Are there any suggested changes or amendments? I have one right off the bat. It was not the annual meeting, and that was in the title.
Oh, okay.
Our annual meeting is in September.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't have anything of consequence. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So,
And is it? Yep, your second?
yes.
And any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. And then we'll skip over item 3, and we'll get right to Joel's financial report. He's distributing as he likes. Oh, it is.
I made just a few copies, so just share them, folks.
Yeah.
And if you got any questions after, feel free to. What did you share? I can leave away mine. There we go, Molly. I'm gonna grab
Thank
that one
you.
from you because I just gave it.
Okay.
Okay, so budget. The unrestricted funds, we have a balance of $11,556.35. We had one online donation for a little over $40, so that just increased a little bit. The restricted, we have a balance of $12,632, with $3,800 of that committed to the LVRT project, which is the parking area up here on Robin Hood. We had a bid open in February 18th. We've sent a notice of award to the contractor. That has not come back signed yet, but hopefully in a few days. Then we'll sign an actual contract. So pretty soon I'm going to cut a check for that $3,800 that we committed and send it over to the town of Swanton, who is managing the contract. The balance by other categories, bikes and signs, has just $88.95 left when we take that $3,800 out. Capacity building, $1,477.25. Substance misuse, $1,625.61. Beautification has a balance of $4,825.19. And Hank, that was after that email you sent me where I left that 1,100 plus whatever that number was in there, and then moved the 10,000 into a CD. So that's the current balance in beautification. Marble Mill, we were given some money from the chamber for Marble Mill, and that was to make improvements. To date, there was some stuff suggested a little over a year ago, but have not heard. And I don't know if anything from the village or something, we got some money standing there to help out, make some improvements there, so.
50,000?
$800
Oh,
and 15 cents.
800.
We'll take $50 out of that for a hearing test.
That's helpful.
Yes, I know. It's good to be optimistic.
It is optimistic.
And then down at the bottom on this is the CD for beautification. It started out as 20,000 and we moved 2,000 the last 2 years out of that into what they're actually buying for trees and for plants, etc. And the interest that we've made on it, $16,482.84 in that CD. Then we were given a little over $11,000 from the Taylor Estate to add on to the 20,000 they gave us a while ago. And some of that stayed in the beautification $4,800 number, and 10,000 of it on March 7th opened up another CD. These CDs are 6-month CDs, so we'll see what the rate is next time around. Both of them right now are at 4%. So that's where we are with the finance world.
Great, thank you, Joel. Are there any questions about the finances?
I have a question.
Yes.
So the $815 for Marble Mill, that came from the chamber?
Yes.
Is there like a work plan or anything to, are there any projects in the works? for Marble
No,
Mill?
at
This
one
time
of our
year was.
meetings, there was some discussion of some things, and one of the individuals isn't here tonight, was kind of running with it, but I haven't heard anymore, and that was quite a while ago, so it's certainly available.
Yeah, there's a number of projects for Marble Mill proposed right now with seeking grant funding. So the discussion for this specifically was pickleball net, specific for the pickleball court.
Gotcha.
That
Right.
we'll follow up on very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Comments? Again, you just have to say that beautification committee stuff is pretty amazing. People really are loving the flowers and the trees and the work that you are doing. So, thank you. Anything else? I don't think we have to vote on this. This is just information
Just
for us.
information.
And as you all saw, Crystal has joined us. Crystal runs from her job, which goes to 5 or 5:30, and here she is. And I did mention that you were going to be doing this, and thanked Betsy for her incredible service
Yes.
to the organization.
Absolutely. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Molly Lambert as the interim chair.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Okay. Well, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay. Thank you, Molly.
Oh, so welcome. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. So next on the agenda are the highlights from the town meeting. And so let's start with you, Brian. What happened on the town meeting for the town?
Well, first of all, it went pretty smooth. We had 803 voters cast ballots, which is a relatively small turnout since the checklist is somewhere around 4,600 or 4,700 people, so it's pretty small. But it was a steady flow in here. Of significance on the races, Joel Clark won re-election to his seat on for the term of 3 years on the select board, and he's also been re-elected by the board to be the chair for the next year. And also a newcomer to the select board, Nick Brousseau, has won a seat on the select board, and congratulations to Nick. And all the other races were uncontested. All of the money articles passed by very healthy margins. So it was, well, things went very smooth in counting the ballots. I made a phone call to give the results, and I looked at my phone afterwards, and I found out the polls closed at 7 o'clock. We balanced the check-in, check-out list, and at 7:09, I'm calling people. So it went very smooth. So it was so now it's on to the work. Notable on the, as we all know, last year the police protection took a sizable jump in the town side of that for their 70 hours a week coverage. It was pretty contested. But this year, it was yes 331 and no 112, so it's a very healthy margin. And all the other margins were very healthy. So, yeah, it was a successful meeting. Now we have to get on to the spending the money.
Questions for Brian? None. See, this is successful too, except congratulations, Nick. That's very exciting. Thanks for your willingness to serve.
Thank you. I look forward to serving the Swanton community, and it's more of a way I can do so compared to the ways I've been doing so in the past. So I'm hoping it will be very informative.
Well, you've got a good leader right here, and he'll make sure that your service goes smoothly and be very informative. So,
I'm sure he will.
yeah.
One item of note, Molly, I'd like to just say, and putting on my hat as being on the select board, is we were very pleased with like the police budget, the margin that it passed this time. Last year it was much closer, and it makes us feel really good that we had better margins on that. And we look forward to several more years working with the Swanton Village.
And thank you, Joel, for your leadership, which is obviously very appreciated by all of us and your colleagues, which is particularly important. That's keeps us all going.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. Any other observations or comments? And Brian, thank you for having run such a smooth town meeting.
Well, I just did the village check-in. Actually,
Well, that's running.
the town clerk, Kathy Fournier, and the assistant clerk, Tamara Bouchard, they actually run it. And they always, Kathy's been at it for a long time, and it's very smooth. So she does a good job.
Well, thank them
Right.
for
Well,
us.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I presume, speaking of your great staff, that you brought the recorder that Christina mentioned.
It's right in front of Crystal. Yeah.
It's right in front of Crystal.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Christina takes the minutes for those of you that don't know. And so even though she's out of town, she made sure that the electronic sign was taken care of, that we had the recorder, so that she'll just do that. And anyway, so it's a great relief for our secretary.
Who didn't know that, so she's been taking minutes.
Well, anyway, thank you. And Brian, it's your turn. How did things go?
Bill.
Oh, you know why? My phone is ringing and it's distracting me.
It's okay. Not quite as well. No, let's start off with a highlight of highlights. We have a new village trustee, Neil Spear.
Yay. Welcome.
It is a new role after a long time of service as the village president, so he's now a voting member of the trustees and got the first meeting under his belt. So welcome back, Neil.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
I might add before Bill gets
Yeah.
into his, that I appreciate Eugene LeBombard serving as long as he did. He regretted having to leave because of health issues, but we all really appreciate his tenure as a trustee. Thank you.
Indeed.
Okay, go ahead.
So the rest of the municipal budget articles passed overwhelmingly, and we're certainly appreciative of that. The one big thing that we were candidly shocked at was the building next door. So it lost by 6 votes.
Oh,
340 voters. It's 21%. I guess it's generally typical, but you know, since then we had a lot of feedback of we generally supported what you were trying to do next door. For whatever reason, they didn't make it out to vote. So we have some things to reconsider. The trustees do. What we're trying to make sense of is we know that the proposal last year was soundly defeated for all the right reasons. You know, 14.2 million, massive increase on municipal tax rates. So great idea to try to take the temperature, to get a vote, to see what the appetite was to move fire department and police department next door, and that was a 70-30 against. So we took that collective feedback, which a lot of that from many, many people was, well, why don't you consider moving up the electric department next door, freeing up the space for those entities, and not impacting the tax rate, but impacting fees. So instead of impacting 616 taxpayers or registered voters, it's a little bit more than that, 3,800 ratepayers. So it's exactly what we did, and here's what we're trying to make sense of and open to any and all suggestions. So for as little as 30 to 50 cents a day, depending on your usage, we would have had a building that would have met the department's needs, electric department needs for the next 50 years. But then as importantly, freed up space in this building to meet long-term space needs for our police department and for Public Works. Public Works budget passed by 83%, 83% for. Police, I wish we had your margins, we don't, 63%. But still, those are the far and away the biggest ticket impact items that we have on our village taxpayers, and passed overwhelmingly. Despite that, for an additional 30 to 50 cents a day, meeting the needs for the entire organization, and it failed by 6 votes. So, at the end of the day, take full responsibility. We didn't do well enough to get the message out. So the choices range from do nothing, reconsider, do a new vote. All those things are on the table for the trustees beginning at the next meeting on the 24th.
so hard.
It's, you know, I'm on the record in multiple media outlets saying that here's what's at stake. We need people's help. We will not have a police department in 3 to 5 years if we keep saying no and they operate in that closet. That's fact. I know as soon as people see this, there's going to be comments on doomsday. I don't take that personally. I think it's factual based on my experience in the industry. And it's really hard to recruit. It's not just about pay. We're at strike 2 right now. And I get it, and the voters have the right to vote, but we just need to come up with a way. So again, we'll have some community forums, always open for feedback. With that being said, we had, it's the same story. We had 5 open houses for wastewater when we did that vote a couple years ago. It passed overwhelmingly. We had 2 people show up. 2. We did 3 open houses, and not including the joint meeting, because candidly, when the town and the village was done presenting their budget stuff, most people left because they weren't here for the electric department informational meeting. 3 of those, 9 people. So we have to find a way to get the information out, to reduce the misinformation that's on Facebook, because we're at a disadvantage. If nobody takes the time to learn the facts behind what we're trying to do, and they walk in for the first time and see a ballot item that says, shall you approve 8.3 million? That's what we're going to get, a no. So we did what we thought we needed to do, but clearly it did not resonate.
Some observations, questions for Brian, Bill?
We're interchangeable anyway. We work together. We talk every day.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I would suggest showing other police departments locally and showing what we're lacking here. because I think people are disbelieving of what we're lacking here. I can tell you, having come from an older police department to now a newer
Yeah.
police department, the officers are happier when they have space to work, when they have safe places to work. The holding cell that we have, we've had this conversation several times,
Sure.
is absolutely inadequate and unsafe. It's unsafe for officers, it's unsafe for the folks that are working in this office. In my job, I sit behind 7 locked doors. So there are multiple layers of protection for me as a dispatcher away from somebody that's in custody. These ladies that sit out here don't have that. And so we are sadly lacking in this police department, and I will always back the folks that are here because I know that they do a great job and they need the support of the public.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, well, we had 34 informational open houses when we tried to do the public safety. We had less than 100 individual persons. Now, many showed up 6 or 7 times, but less than 100 people came in. Even those folks that for some reason are not supporting what we're trying to do now, after suggesting it, are openly acknowledging that they're in a closet in the police. It would cost us far more in taxpayer impact to try to move just the police, and it doesn't solve the space issues that we have here. This is the cheapest and most effective way that we can approach this.
Did you push out the 30 cents to 50 cents a day increase? I don't live in the village.
As much as we could.
This is the first I'm hearing
Yeah.
of it.
As much as we could, so, you know, that's the Richard Copperthwaite Show, that's the Messenger, that's Channel 3, that's informational meetings, that's on our website, that's on Facebook. It was there, that was on the Swanton community page. We have to all tackle this, I think. There's this massive amount of voter apathy right now. There just is.
Yeah, and as we know, that mandate is not a mandate.
Right.
6 votes does not make a mandate not to do something, so hoping the trustees.
It's not gonna be where we go.
Pardon me?
I'm not gonna try to get Bill in trouble here, but doing nothing is not an option.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, sometimes the town meeting day, as you were saying, very small turnout for the town as well, Brian. And the apathy was, so the people who feel strongly against something are motivated. And
They certainly are, and, you know, at the end of the day, I think people realize this, and this was a key part of the presentation. We currently sit with the lowest 0.5% electric rates in the state of Vermont.
yeah,
When we increase, what we're gonna try to increase, 30 to 60 cents a day, we will remain the lowest 0.5% for electric rates in the state of Vermont.
yeah.
Something else I think people need to look at is Bill brought up that they're looking to build that place so it's 50 years ahead.
Correct.
Take a look at 10 years from now. Where are we gonna be at? Where are we gonna be at with building prices?
Right.
Where are we gonna be at with volunteers for the fire department, the EMT?
Yeah. Right.
And where are we gonna be at with workers on the ground for the electric department and the police department? If we have the same setup that we have right now, what are we gonna attract people with to come to work for the town of Swanton, Village of Swanton? We're gonna be even in a bigger problem. And then we're gonna want rate increases for payroll to try to attract these people. So we're gonna have a lot bigger problems in 10 years.
It's true.
So one thing that tonight's my first night being here, and I appreciate you guys, you know, having us, and I wanna get more involved in the business, younger generation here, but I'm involved in a lot of different groups, been involved in a lot of voluntary clubs for like the towing association and stuff like that. And we see exactly what you guys are dealing with. Open house, 1 or 2 people show up. But yet, then we see everybody bashing us on Facebook of, well, why'd you guys do that? Well, bring your input and come put the boots on the ground and come sit at that table with us, or come to an annual meeting or whatever and put your thoughts in it, and you can have just as much input as everybody else sitting around this table tonight. And I think as a taxpayer, a business person and everything else, maybe what we need to do is change something up and do some of these little small 1 or 2 video clips of where we have situations going on in here and put it out on Facebook, because that's where everybody seems to come and chit chat and run it all down. Put it right out in front of the public. You know, and like she just said, I haven't heard that it was 30 to 50 cents a day.
Right.
But we spend 30 to 50 cents at the store on something we probably all don't need.
Yeah. Yeah, and we thought about that, and the candid answer as to why we didn't do it is because we did videos for the public safety thing, and we got eviscerated.
Yep.
We got torn apart on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It just was, that's the reality of it. But
I seen it, and
Yeah.
I seen it when the fire department thing,
Right.
and that 14 million was a lot,
it was
but
a lot.
coming kind of from her background over there, where
Yeah.
she sits behind 7 doors and stuff,
Yeah.
we do the towing thing. And we've been to multiple police stations and all, been to the city PD in St. Albans, been to the new Williston Barracks. I mean, that's a state-of-the-art facility down there in Williston. And with what's going on with our country and stuff too, we need to step our game up.
Yeah.
We need to back the people that are out there backing us every day.
Yeah, the ultimate fear at the end of the day is all of the progress that we're making collaboratively through this contract. And the support went from passing by 10 votes to passing by hundreds of votes for the contract. That bodes very well. It's a landscape where it's increasingly difficult to recruit officers. That combined with the facility, again, I think strike 3, we may as well put a for sale sign on the door. So I'm either gonna be calling Crystal's agency to combine, or we're just shuttering and the state police are gonna cover. Not
know-
well, by the way.
As I was listening to your comments, and I was thinking how limited really the village and/or town officials are in what they can put out to the public, because they are held to a standard where they can inform but not advocate. Am I correct?
No, we can advocate, and we know everything that we put on our page, which we often don't restrict comments, but we know within 5 minutes it's gonna go to the community page. And again, I'll just be candid. Where it goes from there is just into a massive vortex of misinformation and abuse.
I didn't.
That's the reality of
I
it.
did not think that you could advocate or disparage something that was on the ballot because you're using taxpayers' money to do
Ju-
that.
Just a factual representation, that's all.
That's correct.
Right.
You can
That's
educate,
correct.
but
That's
educate
right.
but not lobby.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So we have our friend from TDI.
Yep.
Who we hear strongly advocating for why this, I just wonder in your strategizing, if you talk about the messengers as well as the strategy, because sometimes
Yep.
they, you, and others are the strongest voice that people will, anyway,
Yeah.
that's a whole strategic
Yeah.
discussion.
You're absolutely correct. So there's a number of citizens that have already reached out to say, how can I help?
There
If
you
the-
go.
If the trustees vote to move forward on the 24th, we will empower a citizen committee, as many as want to fill the room,
Yeah.
to go and spread the word for us.
Yeah.
Citizen
Yeah.
Communication Committee,
Correct, yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of confusion too, that people assume that Swanton community page is run by a village or town entity, and it is not.
Right.
And I think Darcy can chime in too. Sometimes when you post very factual information, it sits in a holding pattern for several days before it's approved to be posted. And so I found that with my former job. So I think that there is some misinformation that is bolstered by 100 comments, and then by the time the others get
Yep.
approved, it's taken off like wildfire.
Right.
Could you get away with putting information on the back of electric bills?
We will definitely do mailers this time. I think at the end of the day, we thought turnout would be greater. We thought support would be greater. We underestimated. You can't go anywhere without people saying, wow, we love Swanton Village Electric and the rates and the lack of power being out. Well, that didn't resonate at the polls, obviously. Not enough. So, yes, we will not so much, I don't want to overcomplicate it. You can't stuff too much into that because our mailer doesn't work. So we'll probably just do individual, separate mailers to every residence in the village.
Okay, that makes sense.
And for those that are wondering, because this is the other confusion, and I think it upsets people, because we're the entity that owns Swanton Electric, the vote unfortunately is limited just to the village, despite the fact that there's 3,800 ratepayers that are spread just as equally, even more in Highgate, the town of Swanton, and some businesses in St. Albans. But that's what we have to live with.
Is that a state rule or? how does
It
that work?
is. You would have to create a district. There's a way to navigate that through the legislature, but it's onerous. It's not easy to do. Same thing, you could create a public safety district. There's some avenues, but again, we thought
Yeah.
it would
You
pass.
thought you had it.
How
We
many
did.
voters do you have in the village?
1,616, I believe, was this last count. Yeah.
I think an interesting ripple effect that perhaps is overlooked when you have the big conversations is really interestingly, as I interview teachers that want to come to school and as I give tours to families who are potentially considering moving to Swanton, I am absolutely regularly asked about law enforcement. How long does it take law enforcement to get to your school if there's an emergency? Where are they located? All of those related questions. That's always been a common question for families that are moving in. It has not been a common question for staff. So when I sit across the table and have a 23-year-old brand new graduate from UVM asking me, where is your police department? How long does it take them to get here? I think it's an interesting ripple effect if I have to start saying, we don't have local in-town law enforcement now. It is likely to impact my ability to recruit teachers for school.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that's a connection that people would necessarily make.
That's a great point.
Well, thank you, everyone. A great discussion, and I think we all want to jump to solutions and
Yeah.
give ideas. So, at any rate,
Just real quick, another way to get the message out would be, I imagine you could write letters to the editor.
yeah.
And I imagine that if someone sent a letter to Bill, he wouldn't mind taking a look at it real quick.
Right.
To approve, yeah, to filter it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that would be a good thing to do as well.
Great. Okay, going to a delightful part of our meeting, not that that wasn't delightful, Bill and Brian. Thank you both for all the work that you do. But we do have Chief Brenda Gagne with us this evening and are so pleased to have her join us. And this was Joel's idea and a great one. The community, the Abnaki community in our town and village is such a prominent contributor to the health of what we all experience day to day. And Chief, you are here to enlighten us about all the wonderful things that are happening.
Well, thank you. First of all, you say town of Swanton, this and that. This is all stolen land. And I want you to know unceded is what it is. That is the most important thing that people need to understand, that this is Nadakana. This is our homeland. So Swanton, Highgate is very important to our people. I brought some numbers so you guys can see what we've done. So we fed 8,003 people last year at the food shelf. 2,509 families. out of that, we had 1,416 that were Abenaki families. So we feed everybody. We don't just feed our people. It's important, and now with the new regime, but what's going on in Washington, funding is going to be an issue. That's going to be the biggest issue. And the whole part of DEI and all that affects us. That affects our kids at school. That's going to affect a lot of things. So I wear the hat of Title VI Indian education also. And so the funding cuts, and they're already starting on food shelves. And that's going to be crucial for us. So trying to find monies other places and locally more so, and things like that are really going to be important to be able to sustain and keep people fed. We don't feed people for a week at a time. It's 2 or 3 days. That's what they get. They can go to any other food shelf around. They can go once a month. And we do have a limit once a month because we have so many people coming in. The homelessness that's here is a scary thought for me and the people, because a lot of them are ours. And we have the highest suicide rate in Franklin and Grand Isle County, if you don't know that. So there's a lot of things that are positive, but there's a lot of things that we still need to work on. We have a foot clinic that happens once a month for anybody who needs their feet done, and that's important for your elders because they can't take care of their feet. So that's free. We have a blood pressure thing that's there every day. Anybody that wants to come in can come get their blood pressure checked, and they can do it regularly if they want to. I got rid of COVID and all that stuff. That's not an indigenous thing. If you choose to vaccinate yourself, that's what you choose, but I don't want to have my people think I'm pushing that on them. So we stopped doing that. We've been doing a lot of classes. I don't know if you've been paying attention on Facebook, but since I became chief a year ago, November, we've done 148 hand drums with citizens, which is important. The building is busy. It's full all the time. People are there, which is nice to see. So now we're teaching the songs, we're teaching the language, we're trying to get things that have been stolen from us through the years back and have it be there for the kids. The Circle of Courage is another thing that I do. So that's 33 years this year. I've had thousands of children. And it's funny because now I have the children, first years now are having their children's children. It's almost there. So it's kind of like, holy crap, I'm getting old. But so Circle of Courage is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the same as the food shelf. The tribal buildings open those same days. So I go from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock there, and 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock over to Circle of Courage. Tuesdays and Thursdays are meeting days with reps, because we have a whole lot of stuff going on with ODNAC. So I was trying to stay ahead of that. Nicole sent me the picture of what the sign's gonna look like for the Swanton, which is unbelievable, and having our flag on it is crucial. Crucial for our people to know that there's a belonging here. Because I don't think we've had that for a long time. We haven't always fit in. We've always been the outcast. And having people come in that aren't Abenaki, and we ask that, part of our data, are you Abenaki? Don't have to be, but so we keep track of how we feed our people, not just other people. And they're like, no, we're not. So that means they can't have food? Absolutely not. We're gonna feed you. But them coming in and saying, I can't believe you feed us, even though we're not. We're open for everybody. Segregation has been here for 1,000 years, and we try not to do that. So segregation is keeping people set aside. And we have some great local things. We get food from Costco, but we've gotten mattresses I've been able to give out to people, brand new, pillows, other things that are important, not just food, because kids need other things also. And we have a Price Chopper that we get food from, and Hannaford's. So we get to give out a little more than some people, because some don't get that food, because they look at it as junk food. Well, I'm sorry, but if you've got kids, you gotta have cookies in your house. You gotta have bread in your house. There's certain things you have to have. And we try to make sure that they get that stuff. We're waiting on bids for the building, because everything that you guys have done and what we've raised, I mean, this is coming to light. When the building is done, it will be dedicated to Chief Homer St. Francis, because he's the one who started everything. There will be a plaque for Chief Blackie Lampman also, because without him we wouldn't have the education programs that we have today that I work for. Blackie was all about education, Homer was more about political, and with both, it's important to have both of them recognized for that. And I saw Susie was doing flags that are gonna go around, so I did buy one for Chief Homer. but I have not for Blackie because I've not
Yes,
gotten
ma'am.
permission.
He has one.
So have you done one?
Yeah.
Okay, because if not, we would have done that also. Because I think it's important for them to be recognized in this town for the things that they've done, which is important. Because they kind of paved the way, you know, and Blackie was quiet, I'm not. I am not. If I have something to say, I want to tell you to your face, it's just the way it is, that's who I've always been. When Joel came in to ask me, I said, absolutely, don't know exactly what you want me to talk about, because we have so many pots on the fire going. Right now, being maple sugar season is very important for our people. Another thing that was stolen from our people, just put that out there. So, putting the kids getting to know what Sons of Biswood is all about, having the maple syrup, being able to do that, and having some people actually do it, gifting us a gallon of syrup they don't think is a lot. It's a lot when you spend $40, $50, and I've got 25, 30 kids. A gallon of syrup doesn't go long. So when somebody gifts that, very much appreciative. Valco gave us a donation of $1,000, which we were very thankful for. That's money I don't usually get. So the kids will use that for their year-end celebration and for Easter for families that come to Circle that are deserving families. I never say somebody is needy, they're deserving because they have feelings too. So if I call you up and say, we've picked you as a deserving family for Christmas this year, they'll take that better than me saying, I picked you because you're needy. You know what I'm saying? So wording is really important, I think, also. I have the youth. Abby's daughter is one of my drummers. So she came down and taught drumming to the people that actually came. And to have the youth do it is powerful, right? Powerful. To see these kids know their stuff and be able to do that stuff is really important. My granddaughter, my oldest one, is the drum leader. And this Jasmine Hemingway, which is Cody's daughter also. And they do a phenomenal job. And I want to put a plug out there. Memorial Weekend is powwow for us. And it will be in the lower field, you know, just where it was last year at the rec department. We had almost 1,400 people show up last year, which is more than I've ever seen in my life. But we've been 13 years without one. So being able to celebrate and do. We have a ribbon skirt workshop coming up again, which is already full, which only took a few days. I want women coming in to learn why we wear them. What is the purpose of it? Because it's not just regalia, it's meaningful, ceremonial. They make their own and they have something to wear when they go, which is part of belonging again, right? So making sure they have that stuff. We've been doing rattles and medicine bags, things that people probably don't think are big deals, but for us, to get our culture out there and our people learning it is really important. Because I think so much has been taken over the years. And what people don't realize is, when I was taught to dance, it was 1977, and it was against the law. It was against the law to be indigenous until 1978. And that's when the Religious Freedom Act came in. So for us we hid in the back, knowing that if we got caught, our parents could be arrested. So there's things that I don't think people understand, the trauma that goes along with it, right? So having that place of belonging is so important for our people. And having people come in to the building, just to come in, is what we're looking for. Keep that door swinging. Let us do what we can to help you. And we don't have a lot of money, so people come on us, pay rent. I don't have that. We don't have that ability. That's not there. But I can help you find resources. I can do those things. That's kind of the things that we do, you know, and I'm there every day. So, and I'm usually there Tuesdays and Thursdays because I do taxes for my elders. And they're living on a fixed income. They can't afford to have that done. So I do it for them, and it's just another plug that they get. And they don't have to be Abenaki for that either, but please don't give me a home anymore. Yeah, so I don't know. You guys want to know anything in particular that I've not talked about?
I just would like a little more of the circle of
I
courage
was
you're talking
gonna ask
about,
the same.
and all
Yeah.
the people you've touched through that. What is and I think you do that over,
Oh, God, at the Nativity Parish Hall, yes, I do.
Okay.
Not where I want to be. We should not be where we are. So we were in the old high school for years. When it was done over in perpetuity, it was told to us as the Abenaki that we'd have a place there forever. Well, then the Notch got in there, and then we got pushed out. So then finding a place big enough, because last year I had almost 60 kids. And it's too much. And I won't refuse kids, but they didn't shut them off at school. So when they get them in, So now I said 30 kids is my limit because I've got myself and 2 other people and 30 kids. That's a lot trying to do everything. It's hands-on. So we teach them independence, which means the ability for them to stand up for themselves and speak, to know that it's okay to stand up for themselves and that their life matters, that they can do that. I teach them belonging, place of where they come in and we're family. Generosity, which is one of the things that isn't taught today. So if they make a necklace, they make two. One they can keep and one we sell, and that goes for the deserving families that we do the other things for. And the last is mastery. Mastery at their level. Because school's got it, you've got to be here, you got to do this, you got to do that, then you master. If you've done everything you can possibly do and it's the best you can do, you've mastered that for us. I teach them traditional dancing. They drum on a big drum. They perform all over the state. They've been to Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York. We sold out the Flynn Theater in less than an hour for 6 shows. Let's see, what else do we do? We weave. We're doing basket making. We're pounding ash, not ash. And this weekend we have a workshop with Jesse LaRock, who is a master basket maker. And he's going to strip it we're going to learn how to strip it by hand, size it, gauge it, all the things to make baskets with. So we've already pounded the ash. Now we're going to strip it, do the next part, and then it's the basket making. So that is happening. Circle of Courage, we have, third time I've had to replace my hide on my drum. When we're at this place over here, it's old high school, 20 years I had the same hide on my drum. The amount of despair that the Catholic Church has put upon the people. There's bad entities there. I can smudge all I want. I can have flames come up this high, and it isn't cleaning that out. So I've put 3 hides on my drum. So that's 4. I started with 1 and 3, and it popped last week. We need to find a place to get the heck out of there, because we shouldn't be under an umbrella of Catholic religion, being indigenous for one. And things happened there. They did not happen there, if people don't know that. And not just St. Joseph's, and it's not just the Warner Home and all these places where eugenics was part of for our people. But the Catholic Church is another thing. So being that close, we say it's bad medicine, and it takes away from our medicine. And the drum is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. When the kids are drumming that's prayers. Everything we do is praying. And we pray to all 4 directions, which means every color. We don't just pray to our own, we pray to the white, the black, the yellow skin, and the red skin. That's really important for people to know. It's kind of a medicine wheel. We have Donut Day coming up the 31st of March. We raise money selling donuts, and the kids have that for their pizza parties and all the things that they want through the year. Let me see. Language, yes. So we developed a Nadakana dictionary. I should have brought one, gave you, but I'll bring one. It has 100 words the kids picked, and it's illustrated and it's designed really nice. And in the back of the book, it shows you how to say the words correctly. Because what good is it to give you a book and if you can't say the word, it doesn't make any sense. So they have that, and the kids are playing bingo with the language. So we have bingo cards that we've made up, and they may have a tree, which is abazi, they may have a moose, which is moose. They get animals, flowers, whatever on, and when you say the word Abenaki, they have to know which picture it is to be able to get a bingo. So it's working on that kind of stuff with them. We have a memory game that we do with them also. So they have to know the word in Abenaki when they flip it up to what it matches as the animal when they get it. So there's a lot of that happens. And we have a van, so I pick the kids up at school. I drive them back and forth.
You have a new curriculum?
We do have a new curriculum that will come out May something. May something. I can't say.
Early May.
Yeah, early May is all I'm going to say, because I don't know what kind of trolls we have. But so the beginning of May, that'll be handed out. Every school in the state of Vermont will have curriculum on the Abenaki. And it goes from kindergarten all the way to you graduate. And we did put eugenics in it. We didn't put names in like the state of Vermont did. When they put it out there, they put our families' names out there, which was so disrespectful. And some of it's still out there, which still bothers me to this day, to think kids are bullied enough at school, they don't need to see a name there and say, oh yeah. So that happens, you know, so that kind of stuff. But that's going to be in there too with the eugenics. If you guys don't know anything about eugenics, you should learn, because the history of Vermont's not been good for my people. And black people either, but our people are the dominant ones here. And everybody always asks me how many there are of us. And Homer always said, never give out a number. I'll tell you, there's thousands of us that belong to the Siskiyou. There's probably more at Missisquoi than you all even know, because I sit around the room and I know there's a few sitting with us, so it's just, so, and the kids, when they learn, which is funny, they go home and teach their parents, and it's the white kids that go home and teach it to their parents that makes me so proud, because then the parents come in and they want more understanding. So I think that's been really good with Circle of Courage also.
You had an incredible compliment that I haven't had an opportunity to tell you yet, that I think is really important. It's just incredible evidence about the power of Circle of Courage. So one of the things that we've been working on at school is that we know that every student needs to have at least one really trusted adult that they can go to when something's going on, someone that they can talk to. And the more the better, right? But at least one. And so we have a group of my leadership team at school who's working on that particular topic. And we've recently surveyed every single student in the school to pose the question, do you have a trusted adult that you can go to? And we asked them to identify who that person was so that we could make some intentional connections between that student and that person. And we gave a few options and completely expected that when we used the term at school, that would unintentionally, right now, that would limit to the adults at school. And we had multiple students say Circle of Courage on that survey, and it wasn't even an option that was listed. And I think that's incredible, because they forgave the things that were listed in order to put Circle of Courage. And I think that is incredibly powerful evidence for that program.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Any other questions for the chief other than our gratitude
How
for?
can the community be supportive to you?
I think you guys have been. I mean, the ones I can call you and you. I called you on bees. Remember that Circle of Courage was overwhelmed with bees in the kitchen and in the nativity. I'm like, oh my God, get a hold of Darcy. We got to find if we can save bees. What are we gonna do? And I think people have been pretty good about if I made a phone call that they would pick up. Even with Tuttle's having Matt Swan taken over, we called them because we were cleaning out the top because we have the buildings to be done. So we had to get rid of all this crap that's been hanging around that's really been. They were hoarders or something. They kept stuff that was no good. And he brought us a dumpster and said, as long as you need it and don't worry about the cost. That's amazing stuff. So I think we're getting there more and more that people, if I call, and I don't always look for handout because we try to pay our own way, but when people do that, it's amazing. Yeah, you could come in and teach about honey or something. I'm just saying.
Well,
The kids would love that.
Chief, the great part about having you here is, I think you know that generally you'd be on a separate, on the list of committee reports or information, because that's what the Swanton Enhancement Project is all about. It's convening, communicating, informing, and then consequently engaging. And I think that would be good for all of us, right? To have that regular contact. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Molly, real quick on the powwow, is that gonna be pretty much the same size as last year? That was pretty, and I'm talking about the people who came, right? Some came from out of state and everything. That was
people
people
are already calling. So I'm expecting we're probably gonna have more than that this year. So yeah. So last year there weren't even enough parking. We had to park them over on the street and over with us, and they were walking to us. So I'm trying to figure out. Can we use the school parking lot and people can walk? Maybe we can use the van to get people back and forth, the elders or whatever. I don't know. We've got to figure something out to do with that, I think.
There's
Yeah,
already
you might
more
be able to
drummers
talk-
and dancers and
Yeah.
stuff signed up, so that it's definitely gonna be bigger
Yeah,
than
we
last
got
year.
we got 2 host drums this year, a northern drum and a southern drum, which is amazing. And then
And
our
the
youth
kids.
group are going to be drumming also. And then I've got all my people that have made drums that are learning the songs of music to be in circle and show everybody what they've learned. I think that stuff is powerful for them to be proud of that they learned something, you know. And our language isn't easy at all.
Right at the top of the hill with SLC, they might work something with you, because they're not open on the weekend, that they've got a big open area right
They do.
inside their entrance that. might
You know,
be
I could ask my husband, he's been there almost 50 years. You know,
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I never think of that, because they usually have a gate.
Right.
They usually gate it off. That way they can't gate it. So I don't know, I'd have to ask to make sure.
A couple
I wouldn't want
volunteers
something
to work
happening out
fire.
there and then
Right.
be
No,
the
I-
Abenaki, yeah, that's all I need.
Well,
Anyway,
thank
just a
you.
thought.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And delighted to have our friend from TDI here tonight. And Joel, are you going to do a little intro?
Well, I don't have too much to do for the intro, but from what I read, it was 2001 when you folks started. Although
Yes.
the other day when I drove up there, that tow truck that is sitting there, what year is that?
That's like a 1957.
Yeah, but it said TDI, it said
So-
TDI on there, so when I was looking at the,
Yeah, we did that for Dad, but that originally came from Dan Handy from Handy Chevrolet.
oh, okay.
That used to be an actual tow truck for those guys. So that's where that came from.
All right, and then the facility itself, I think, is 15,000 square feet, I saw, and then it looks like you got an addition going on.
Yep.
50-something vehicles in their fleet, and in case you wonder which one it is, because it's not hard to identify them with the orange and everything else on them,
Yeah.
you know, it's TDI, and they have quite the fleet of vehicles, and just the other day, one of our town plow trucks went into the ditch, and Aaron was right there, dropped something he was doing, drove over there, and within about a half hour, had the vehicle out, because they had another full day of snow removal ahead of them, so.
Yeah, that was early in the morning and it was just getting going and Kevin called and I was already out in the wrecker, so it was at a situation to travel that one and go over, so get them back on the road because they had a long day ahead of them.
Yep. So really appreciate you coming here, and if you want, share with us a little bit about your company and so on, and we'll go from there.
And just to interrupt a minute, I can see by your jacket that you are Aaron, that it's on your sleeve. And your last name, of course.
Aaron Bartamy. So
Yes.
I'm one of the sons. There's 3 of us, and family thing that my mom and dad started. First off, we'd like to thank you guys for having us tonight, but for what you guys have done for us and supported us for, I think we've been here since 2007, 2008 timeframe. We don't look to be going nowhere. We've had some people call us up and say, hey, we heard you're moving, you're going to St. Albans. We bought a small piece of land out there to do some different sales things and stuff because it is in the industrial park. But with that being said, totally happy where we're at in the industrial park with what we've got going on. And it's all because of the community and stuff. And we still though get, till this day, we'll get a phone call of where are you and what do you guys do? And oh, you're right in Swanton. And we'd like to get that word out there more of what we can do to even help the local people in town get oil changes, car tires, stuff like that. Car detailing, we just started doing at our second location at the old Barrett building up on 10 Canada Street. So we just opened the back half of that building up to start doing some light car work as well now too. So we're working on getting more and more of that stuff. And after coming here tonight, I would like to get more involved in these meetings and helping Bill out or anywheres we need to. I'm young, I'd like to get involved in it because without volunteers and stuff, it kind of dries up like what we talked about earlier. We'd also like to thank our employees that have been with us. We don't go out on the easiest terms sometimes. Usually we got a full crew out right now. I think 5 guys are still out right now, doing what we need to do to keep grocery trucks on the road, lumber trucks on the road, propane, fuel oil trucks, and even individuals getting home from work. So, you know, with that being said, we wouldn't be to where we are without them, the past and the present people that we have working for us.
How many are there, Eric?
There's probably 28 to 30 of them, depending on part-time, full-time, office staff, body shop, truck side, wrecker side. I lose track.
That's great.
And some days I get mind boggled because I'm in front of the computer, whether it's dealing with customers or doing estimates or stuff like that, or dealing with stuff locally, you know, trying to help some groups out. I think we just helped the Swanton Rec out with a warming shack this winter.
Yes.
Thanks to Roger Chauvian for that. He put up something about it, and I think within a day or two we had something up there. And get that from mom and dad. That all comes from them to try to help the people that have helped them get them to where they are. So we like to always, I think, return that favor and do so. We're going to continue that, and we're going to continue that with the Swanton Rec as long as they need it. Basically, they got a shed from us. We'll drop one off in the fall, pick it up in the spring, so that way the families can enjoy that. So, and if there's anything you guys need from, you know, committees, you know, or even, you know, your tribe and stuff over there, if you guys need something, don't hesitate to reach out. And if it's within our realm, if we can, you know, if you need a helping hand or you need a donation or something like that, I mean, there's gonna be times that we're gonna have to say no, but reach out to us and see if there's something we can help you guys with. You know, if you guys need help with like traffic for your tribe that's coming in, you got 1,416 people. We've got traffic vehicles, we've got cones, we've got that type of stuff.
Good.
So again, you know, we've helped, you know, the village out, we've helped Swanton out. I guess you wouldn't know if you didn't call us, basically. That's what I've said a couple times to people, you know. A couple people said, well, we could have used you this past weekend. Well, these phones, they're on us 24/7, and usually you're gonna either answer, you're gonna get my father, or you're gonna get me on the other end.
They're quick
And
to
then-
answer. I call in the middle of the night.
And then the great crew that's behind it. So when we get off the phone with you folks, we then turn around and call our guys, or myself gets up and we go handle it, so. But it's the first time doing anything like this on my own. So if there's any questions, don't hesitate to ask me or shoot me a text message, call me tomorrow, you know.
What does a day in the life of a TDI employee or owner look like? Maybe both?
It can be hectic. As, you know, he was saying that, you know, Kevin called me, it was like 6:30 in the morning. I was already up since about 4:30 that morning, working on a job, dropped what we were doing, went over, got them taken care of. I can go back to the shop. I usually work the service counter or the front counter, so when you come in, it's either myself or my brother at the front counter. We're trying to answer the questions or get help to people. So I work on the billing, but if something comes in and I gotta go, the other day I took off, went to Boston, Massachusetts in the middle of the day to go get a customer. And stuff don't stop at 5 o'clock. So, you know, if we got a customer in the shop or something's going on, the other night we had a lady that was broke down on the side of the interstate, left work, car started fine, but she made it up to Georgia and all of a sudden it just died on the side of the road. So, you know, rush hour traffic and stuff, we got out there, got her taken care of, you know, and we do a lot of that type of stuff, so.
Is your clientele, and I don't mean to, you all may have as many questions as I do, but is your clientele, are your clients primarily commercial clients or large clients, or are they
It's been a
people
lot
like-
of commercial accounts, yes.
Yes, okay.
And that's what people don't understand is we also have a fleet of light duty stuff
Okay,
that in the last year and a half, we've really boosted and infused a lot of money back into that fleet. So we have 4 light duty rollbacks that run around, and then we have 2 light duty wreckers that run around with the crew to run them too. So, I mean, every truck is basically filled.
All 4 police departments that I dispatch for use TDI on their rotation. So.
And then you had kind of unique, was it your company who fished the one out of the river last year?
Yep.
Yeah. I was driving back from New York when I saw that laying on its side in the river.
Right.
That's kind of a unique challenge because it's not all straightforward towing.
You know, when it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about Swanton Electric and all, and about the advancement and stuff. I think, not to toot our own horn, but we're probably one of the largest towing companies in the state of Vermont, right here in Franklin County.
Huh.
So we have 2 rotator wreckers. So basically the booms, one's a 50 ton, one's a 75 ton, but that boom circulates 360 degrees. It would have been a challenge for people. I mean, not really, because we could have shut the road down longer down there and used 2 straight sticks to roll that up and get that piece out of there. But with the 2 rotators on that job, we were able to pick that piece up, and then we brought it right between, so we kept one lane open as long as we could. In 2007 is when we got our first wrecker, and I was one of the first ones to start driving wrecker. And so I've been with it. I've been to a lot of classes. I've been around the United States training and all for that. One of our biggest things that we bring to Swanton is we don't want to shut that road down because of the media and stuff. We've had phone calls. We've had people get right in our faces. We got to do our job safely. I got to take and protect the 10 guys that I got on that crew. I got to make sure that they go home to their families at the end of the night. That's my job. My next job is I got to get that out of there safely for you guys, get that roadway opened up, because that's our bloodline to the islands, to New York State. And we already know that there's a ton of people on that other side of that lake that come over here and work for our companies and stuff. So we try to, we work with Swanton, with the fire department, which hands down, you guys gotta be thankful for them, because they got a lot of volunteers that will take and stay out there and do traffic for us. We like to do traffic ourselves, but sometimes we got everything running around. We don't have that 2 or 3 guys, and we need to rotate out on traffic control. So we're very big in that side of things, and if there's something that we need in our towing industry, we try to bring it to that. Again, that's why we're trying to go ahead of it, because we don't know what's coming in the future with the quick clearance laws and so on and so forth, with that stuff coming down the pipeline.
Are you hiring now? Are you looking for workers?
Yeah. I need 2 road service technicians, and I need 2 heavy wrecker operators.
Here you go.
Are you going to school?
Here you go. Heavy.
Have you seen me drive?
But that brings up the second thing that we're doing with our TDI 2 location over here at 10 Canada Street. That front half of that building where Bourne's and Barrett's used to be, that's gonna be a technology center for us.
Good.
So what we do is we have people laugh at them, but they're in the offices, they're little models of wreckers, and then there's little models of like box trucks or a propane tanker or a town truck. We will set them up on the table, and we will go over, like that river wreck, we go over that. What could have we done better? What could we done different? Or that was spot on, and we go over that. Same with the light duty stuff. Like she said, she dispatches. If a guy comes in the following morning and says, hey, I had an issue last night, I really struggled on that. We take and set him down, and we either figure out what he did wrong, or was it just the situation that we were dealing with, it was icy and everything, and we go from there. We try to take and better ourselves. And one of the things that we did is we brought side pullers in on all of our rollbacks. So what that is literally behind the cab and between the flatbed is literally a winch mounted there with 2 pulleys on it, so it can go either passenger side or driver side. And we can show up to a scene that's rolled over, and on average, my guys can roll out of there in a very timely manner to take and open the roadway back up for the state troopers, because they're right now running low on people, and they've got stuff running all over. So we're trying to better ourselves all in that factor, and it goes back to the hiring stuff. When wrecker operators see what we're doing, it attracts them.
Ah, sure. They like the
You know,
challenge.
yes, it's a very challenging thing for employees right now.
Yeah.
So we're trying to bring up that training session, and my father brought that up, and what better way, you know, even technicians and mechanics in the shop, we're opening it up. We've already held 1 training session there with 20 people, so now we're looking at seeing what we can do for the wrecker side of things and stuff. And we're looking to also give that out to other businesses, where if they needed to see a flat screen or have tables to bring their employees to or whatever, or if we have future stuff for like car training or stuff like that, reach out to other mechanic shops and say, hey, you know, this is what we're doing. If you guys want to come, you're more than welcome to.
Well, Aaron, thank you. Thank you for your family
Yep.
and for you all continuing this great service to the region.
Yep.
And I love that last meeting we highlighted Darcy's Bees on Broadway.
Yep.
Because of this local business that is, you know, just starting up, now is bringing in a couple of part-time staffers, right? And this is how it happens. And you two are such great ambassadors for the community. And talk about messengers. You know, those are great messengers to get good messages out about what tremendous things happen here. And I'm sure you get a lot of time when someone says TDI, you get, what's that? What what do they
It's like
do?
this weekend, we're attending our first home show this weekend.
Yeah.
We wanted to do it, and some people were like, what are you gonna go do that for? But I looked, and I think we're the only one on the roster for that. But
Perfect.
it's for people to know what we do.
Perfect.
So we'll be there Saturday and Sunday, and we're gonna actually travel down and do the Burlington one, I guess, in a couple weeks too as well. But
Well,
it's, you know, at the end of the day, it brings it all back to Swan too.
thank you.
A lot comes in here.
Well done. So we have this, and you'll appreciate, Aaron, as we go through this, the idea of convening is to bring all these great people in our community together who are doing really wonderful things in their respective roles to improve and enhance this special place. And first on the list is Abby.
Hello. I'm just trying to pull up my notes so I don't miss anything, so we've got lots and lots and lots of stuff coming up. So this weekend we're gonna be hosting Swanton Arts Council's 10th birthday party. Are you talking about Swanton Arts Council? I'll leave it at that. No, if you want me to talk about Swanton Arts Council, okay. I can do that too.
You're doing it so well.
So at that birthday party, we're gonna have cupcakes, there's gonna be some free art supplies, there's seeds, there's fun, all kinds of stuff. There's gonna be some creative opportunities as well. The library through Swanton Arts Council has a needle felting class coming up. We have a mini terrarium class coming up. We're doing a poetry tea time for kids, clay earring class. We always have teen night, which is starting to pick up again, which is so exciting to me. We have a youth watercolor class. We are doing something a little different for our April break this year. We normally do history camp through the Vermont Humanities Council, but this year we're doing also through the Vermont Humanities Council magical creatures camp, which we're super excited about. It's the kids love Becky and all of her creative ideas, and she's doing like dragons and unicorns and mermaids, and it's gonna be super fun. It's already full, so that's exciting. We're gonna do an open mic night again this April. We have a sushi class coming up. We're trying to bring, we did some family movie nights last year, and we're trying to bring that back again. We're partnering with Creative Heart to do a bird feeder class, a candle painting class. Last year we had a plant swap, like a perennial swap, and we're gonna do that again this year. And in partnership with the rec and the, what's the name of the committee that Susie?
Promote
Thank you, Promote
Swanton.
Swanton, thank you. We're gonna be bringing some family nights to the park as well. So we're super excited about that.
Nice.
Summer camps.
And summer camps, oh yeah, always summer camps, lots of summer camps. Those are already all full as well, which is crazy since it's March. And all full with a waiting list, every single one of them.
Wow.
Full within hours.
Yes, yeah.
I went to look and you were full. I was like,
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
Abby,
And we just did our, February break camp was Reader's Theater, and we just put on a production of The Wizard of Oz, and it was so cute.
Abby, and just while you're speaking, did you take care of the entire Arts Council thing or just the
No, that was
birthday
just
party?
the birthday party.
Okay,
But I can.
but Marie, you're gonna.
No, she passed it to me. So for the Arts Council, the birthday party, we have the free art grant that we're starting to divvy up. So if anybody knows anybody creative who wants free money to put on a class, they should send in a proposal to the Arts Council. I feel like that's kind of it right now. I feel like, oh no, we just opened back up the Art Nook at the library. So we're going to be having art shows at the library. They're up for 2 months, and then it rotates through different people. The next one, the opening reception, I just scheduled it today, and I think it's April 7th. It's that whatever that weekend is. Yeah, so lots of cool stuff.
Now, I don't see Nicole Draper here, but is there?
She sent me a note, she wasn't gonna be able to make it at the last minute. She
Oh.
had something she had to take care of.
Okay,
Yeah.
last time Abby filled in for the rec department too.
I know she is in deep with summer camp as well. Hers aren't all full yet, so if anybody's looking for summer camp opportunities, definitely check out the rec. She has, last night we did a family dinner night, which was making pasta, and that's really her deal. We just hosted it really. And she has another one coming up in June that's gonna be pizza making, and my family came last night. My family doesn't usually get to go to a lot of the things because I'm running them, but they actually got to come and they had so much fun. So anybody with little kids should absolutely check out the June pizza night because it was a blast.
Right.
I know she has like an RC car thing coming up, and she is also like in the middle of all of the planning for Little League, so that takes up a lot of her time right now.
There you go.
Sorry.
And if we want to know if anyone who might be watching the cable wants to know where to find all this information.
There we go. So all 3 of the places I just talked about each have their own website. Swanton Rec is really probably the best one though, because they really try and cover everybody's stuff. They have they have links to all the different community organizations and stuff. So
And are they
and
linked to
Facebook.
the town
Yeah.
website as well?
Yep,
Great.
you could or go to the town website and get them all from there too. But
Wonder-
Nicole has different, like she highlights the different programs that different people are doing, so it's really easy to see pretty much everything all on the rec
Great,
website.
thank you, thank you. Chris Dodge,
Hi.
hi.
So just a few quick school things to update you on. We want to really send out our appreciation for the support of the budget this year. That was really exciting and incredible news for us. So thank you to everyone who supported that at voting time. At Swanton School, we are incredibly grateful for the generosity from the outreach committee from the Holy Trinity Church. So they reached out to me a few months ago and wanted to do some good things for the school and asked for some ideas to do that. And I had suggested a couple of different things. Our classroom book libraries related to social emotional learning that's an area that we're looking to boost up in our classroom book libraries, and also some celebration pieces school-wide that we're looking to do to recognize behavior that meets our school-wide expectations to be respectful, responsible, and caring. So those were 2 things that I had suggested to that committee, and they invited us, myself and 3 students went to their meeting, and they incredibly generously presented us with $3,000 to use. And so just last week, I distributed $1,500 worth of books to classrooms, and teachers were thrilled about that, and so we're very grateful to the Holy Trinity Outreach Committee. The folks at MVU wanted me to let you know that their annual blood drive is coming up. It's on March 18th from 8:30 to 1:30. Walk-ins are welcome. It's at the MVU gym. And they recently received a pretty incredible distinction that they are one of a very small number of schools in the state of Vermont that have generated 5,000 or more pints of blood as a result of their blood drives. So that's a pretty incredible benchmark for them, and they're excited about this year's blood drive. The folks at Highgate wanted me to let you know that they are starting an incredible partnership with AmeriCorps and the folks at Green Up Vermont, and planning some exciting pieces for Green Up Day around activities at the school and branching out into the community and thinking about some beautification ideas for the center of Highgate as well. So they're really excited to continue their work with Green Up Vermont and to bring in AmeriCorps as a new partner for those activities. I want to let folks know that we are having a district-wide literacy night at Swanton School, 6 o'clock on April 17th. This is the second year we've hosted this with Peter and Paul Reynolds. Peter Reynolds is an incredibly well-known children's author who wrote books such as The Dot. He's a co-author of books like the Judy Moody series, super popular with kids at school. And so Peter and Paul Reynolds are going to be with us, and the whole evening is themed around their book called Going Places, which has a STEM theme, creativity theme. We were incredibly fortunate to have part of their team come to school and do some training with our staff and students on a program called Animation-ish, and it's animation creation software that they use in part of their book production, and they came and provided some training and workshops for our students on that, and that's going to be one of the highlights of the literacy night on April 17th. So we're really excited about that. I wanted to let folks know that on the Swanton School website, we've launched a new tab on that website of mental health resources. We're really trying to get out information and access to those mental health resources for families. So if you go to our website, there's a mental health resources tab on the top. If you click on it, we've divided it out into crisis and emergency resources and more longer term resources. And so anyone who wants to take a look at that or link to it or point people to it, we would really encourage that we are hearing more and more things happening in the community where those resources are just really needed. So we wanted to make those available to folks. And last thing I wanted to say was May 16th, we have a group from the Vermont Symphony Orchestra coming. We haven't quite finalized the time yet, but I will let folks know, and we would love to have any community members who would like to come in and hear that performance with our students. So I will get the time out to you, but the day is May 16th.
Thank you, Chris.
Of
Any
course.
questions, comments? I just want to thank you for reaching out to all your units.
Of course.
and bringing that swath of information to us. Thank you.
You're very welcome. My
That's
pleasure.
Great.
I have a question.
Okay, Nick. Oh,
Wait, I have a question.
what-
Would there be an opportunity for the library to table at your literacy night?
I love that.
Okay,
Yep, let's talk.
I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Yep, sounds great.
That's what we love to happen. Okay, Nick.
Okay, not too much going on with the Historical Society at the moment. Programming is going to be coming up, I'm sure, during the spring and summer, and efforts to fundraise for the Roy Insurance Building for the restoration of it are ongoing.
Good, great. And is any way that the SCP can help with that? Is there going to be a proposal or a request coming our way?
I'm sure Heather's probably working on something.
Okay.
Heather Lavoie.
Okay.
I would probably have a chat with her about that.
Great. Obviously, Susie Kelleher is not available to come this evening, but her able substitute Hank will help.
I'm passing around a little fundraiser flyer that I'll explain. Thank you. Those of you who are unaware, the beauty on the streets of flowers and new trees is the result of your support, the village trustees, the select board, fundraising from many donors, and in particular, the Taylor Estate. Now, I just wanted to clarify Joel's excellent budget sheet. About 3 years ago, we received a $20,000 gift from the Taylor Estate to be used $2,000 a year for our purposes. So while it's a big number, $2,000 is all we can take from that. The second donation from the Taylor Estate was the final result, and we got the last of it, $11,400. We're using about $1,400 for operating this year, but the 10,000 of it is in a CD, the use of which will be determined at a later date. We wanted to do something special in addition to flowers and trees, and so we'll be forming a committee to decide how that might be used. So that kind of, if you have any questions about the finances, I'll be glad to answer them. Planting Day is May 17th, that's a Saturday. We gather on the green about 8:30, 9 o'clock, plant all the beds and the pots and so on. And it's kind of a fun day. You're out of there by noon, so 9 to 12, we appreciate volunteers. Green Up Day is May 10th, we have a piece of that. And the fundraising in our budget this year is, we wanted to raise $5,200. We do that by solicitations, and we've had some generosity given by citizens. But the flyer that we just passed around, if you wanted to purchase bulbs or seeds, go to the website, which you just use the QR code, get that. The way, I've never done it, but I think you take a picture.
Pull up your camera, it's really going through.
Take a picture and then magic happens.
Look at that.
And so,
It worked. Kirsten
it works.
is-
You can buy bulbs and seeds and plants, I guess.
It worked.
And a portion of that, of what you contribute there goes to our committee. And we're hoping to raise $2,000 of the $5,000, our goal. So this is a little flyer, I'd like this back, but just take a quick look at what's possible.
Looks like a Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah, it's like one of the Girl Scout cookies.
Thank you, Hank. Any questions for Hank? Thank you.
Hank, do you know when things ordered from that are coming in?
What's that?
Do you know when you place an order, when the products are coming in?
These are for spring planting, so.
It's spring plant, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think there's a limit on when you can order, which is, I think, on the flyer, but,
Yeah, typically they'll zone it.
Okay. Crystal,
Yes.
brief announcement.
So we have been working with NCSS, Franklin County Caring Communities, the Village of Swanton, and we have just been given the go-ahead by the village trustees to put opioid settlement funding to good use, and we will be bringing screen agers ideally all 3 of the docuseries for screenagers. And then we'll be hosting a roundtable discussion with folks from NCSS. And the goal is to really to bring parents, families together and talk about the ways that screens impact our young people, both their mental health and around substance misuse. So more to come. We've just signed the MOU.
Wonderful. Thank you for your persistence in making sure
It's been a long time, but.
that comes our way. And Darcy, someone who is certainly a good connector. Darcy has just taken on a new role because she wasn't busy enough. She's co-chairing the Swanton Chamber of Commerce. And so she is going to be the linchpin with Promote Swanton, the SEP, Economic Development Committee, and co-chair of the Swanton Chamber of Commerce. So, good person to know if you want to get a message out. Good person to know. So Darcy, your turn.
So, chamber updates, I'm gonna start with that. Nick is our vice president of the chamber as well.
Oh, there you
And I don't
go.
know what we're allowed to talk about yet, but there's been some changes with leadership. Elaine Nestor and I have stepped up to fill Adam's very large shoes after, I think, 16 years of service on the board. So we're gonna change some things up and see what happens. So, but we may have some updates coming up soon. Our next meeting is the 17th, so next Monday at the Chamber Building. And we'll
Happy St.
see what
Patrick's
happens at
Day.
that point. There'll be more updates that night if anybody's interested. For Promote Swanton, I know we're working on a pamphlet for promoting Swanton as a whole. It's kind of muddling through. We missed our last meeting last night. There's some stuff that came up. So we'll meet again, I think, in April to work more on that. And then kind of on the school end of things, MVU has a craft show on April 19th, which I think is super important because it benefits the National Arts Honor Society, so a lot of our local kids as a whole. Hopefully I'll have more information at our next meeting, but that's what I have for today.
Nice. And Promote Swanton is continuing to.
It is continuing, and we're going to kind of join forces a little bit, I think, with the chamber and see if we can put all of our heads together and get a little more moving forward.
Good. Thank you.
I got a question for Darcy.
Yes?
The chamber is still the point of contact for the Swans, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
because that's in our new business section, and the letter I have doesn't specifically say the chamber, but
Okay. Suzanne still heads that part of it up.
Yes, and that's who the
Yeah.
letter is from.
As
so-
far as anything, at this point, everything is gonna stay pretty much the same moving forward. We'll have some changes down the road, but right now, everything's staying the same.
Okay, thank you.
So moving to new business, Joel?
Yes, I actually met with Suzanne a couple days ago, trying to give her some assistance in the project, which is to enlarge the pond and to make the building something that an individual can get in, because it's so short and so tight and stuff. And she showed me the budget, and they don't have all the money accounted for yet that they need. The village is giving them some toward the liner, and the town's giving them some toward the liner and stuff. And the bottom line here is it's an 8x10 building that they're looking to make. And right now, they're trying to get around $2,500 for the materials. I think there's enough of us who can bang nails around Swanton. We can put this building together, and we don't really need to pay somebody to do it. So we're gonna work on that aspect of it. But I said, send me a letter, so she did. And I'm proposing, we've got this unrestricted balance that's been here for quite a while. And I'm proposing something in the $1,000 to $1,500 range to enhance Swanton right in the center of the village where the swans are. And you see a lot of people walking around there and stuff. And I throw that out there, and I'll make a motion at some point if people think it's a good idea or not. But
So this is for the building specifically?
yes.
What's the total project cost with the pond enlargement? Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, she showed me some of the numbers. They're trying to pare it down, so I don't know. I heard around 20. It was higher than that at one
think
time.
They really know.
Yeah.
I talked to Suzanne too about the building, and they went to the village and the town for the pond.
Right.
They have a contract on the pond.
Yep.
But there's gonna have to be some concrete poured and some fencing added on.
And they've got
Plus
some-
the building costs. I don't think they have a concrete plan together for all of that, or drawings for it.
That's
Not
what-
that I've seen anyway.
No, I'm gonna be
And I'd
starting
like
to
to
draw
know-
in the next day or two.
From the drawings that I saw, I'd like to know who's gonna decide what the building's gonna look like in the middle of the park.
Yep.
Zoning
Well, I think
board.
that's very fair from a village standpoint, yep.
So, what, the total cost was 20,000, 2,500, what was?
For the building itself, it's around 2,500. The total
But don't you-
project, they don't have a,
But don't you need to enlarge the pond before you put a bigger building?
well,
there?
they have that part.
They have the
under
contract for that, so.
Contract for that.
It's roughly 20,000 total
Oh.
project cost.
Okay, that's what I was going
For the
for.
pond.
And how much of that is
For
in hand?
everything, I think, 20 to 25,000.
Well,
They have an estimate now on the fence. They don't have a hard number for the sidewalk, but it's not a large amount of sidewalk that needs to be done.
And that's part of the 20K, the sidewalk and the fence?
Yes.
while we're talking about the village green, what shape is the bandstand in?
Rough.
I mean,
Yeah, rough.
if nothing's been done to it, I don't know if I should say it publicly, but I will. I think it's not safe. And I think it's a structure right in the center of the park. I'm just thinking more expansively, that it is a beautification project, to improve that structure in the village green. And it's just something maybe we should think about as beautification.
As enhancement of Swan.
And beautification,
Yeah.
which has
A budget to, that's a possibility, absolutely.
it's just a thought, Hank. We talked about
Yeah. The only thing that, it's a verbal wish, it was nothing in writing, but the word is something that would be a tribute to the Taylors. So
Exactly.
if that could be,
A little plaque.
that might be a very good possibility.
Right, so that, I mean, that's something we can talk about and work for the bandstand area. I'm on a circle back to the, because now you planted another good seed of something we can do.
Yeah, I just wonder when you're working on the village green, I don't know how one affects the other, but it's certainly, they are the focal points of the village green.
Yeah, and I'm now working with the VFW and talking with Susie about cleaning the statue we have there, you know?
Good.
Because that, anyway, that's,
So getting back to the Swan Pond, is that what it's called? So you have the new building, you have the enlargement of the pond, you have fence sidewalks that needs to be done. So what happens first? I mean, you build a building and put it there, or do you have to construct it right
The
there?
buil- the
I'm just
building
trying to
would-
understand the timing and how much money you have in hand already.
the building would be after the pond's enlarged.
Right, okay.
So, that, and I don't have the exact date, we didn't get into all that detail right now, there's quite a bit to it, it's a big,
Yeah.
it's a big
Project.
project.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not gonna be built in our backyard like the first one was.
I know, and he did such a nice job, I was looking at that the other day out there, but, you know, I bring it up, to me, I think we could put a figure out there, we can hold the funds until the building starts, whether it's in 1 month, 2 months, 6 months.
Just obligate the funding.
But at least we, commit to some funding, and then we look at some other projects in that
Right,
green to do possibly.
right,
And it's $1,000.
yeah.
That's one recommendation, yeah. But
And
to me, that's a
what
number to
does her letter ask for a specific?
It does
amount?
not. They're looking total for 2,500.
I see.
Yep.
So to do part of that, So did you will you make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we donate $1,000 to the chamber specific for the building for the Swans
Okay,
on the Village Green.
at the appropriate time.
And- right.
Then I'll second it.
Further discussion?
Why couldn't we go to 1,500?
Well, you can amend the motion if you want.
I would like to do so.
Yeah, I'll amend that motion for 1,500.
As a friendly amendment?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the motion has been amended to be a $1,500 contribution. And it's been accepted as a friendly amendment. Do you need to second it?
I can.
And you
I
would?
can second with,
Okay,
yeah, I'll second.
okay. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Any opposed? Great. Well, that's great. And can we, oh, I should do that as interim chair, make sure that we keep the idea of the bandstand.
I have no doubt you will, Molly. I have no doubt.
Well, you should have a doubt.
I would love to see the bandstand become a little more user-friendly.
Oh.
The stairs make it very,
Inaccessible.
inaccessible and prohibitive. And the height of it makes it concerning. So I'd love to see that become much more accessible.
Enosburg has a fantastic bandstand.
Yes, they do. It's
Something like that
beautiful.
would look amazing.
Yep.
And it's used
So-
regularly.
Just, if I may, a little point of clarification, there's been hours of discussion related to the bandstand, so it's not like it has not been discussed by the trustees or internally. And the discussion has ranged from many people, I think would be upset and angry if we started from scratch because of the historical
The
value.
historic.
And then there's an equal number that say, you've got to be kidding me, if you really want it to be accessible, you must start from scratch. And we've actually pursued grants for that and as of yet have been unsuccessful. And I think currently in the grant climate, there's probably not a lot for beautification of that type of thing.
There might be some
right now.
foundation, some specific
There could be.
foundation funding.
There could be. So we've looked at a lot of stuff and we'll continue to do that, but we would love any and all help moving that project forward.
Well, obviously, it's in the village, so I think leading the effort, but knowing that there's interest in how it does
Absolutely.
fit
Yeah.
into the beautification and enhancement part of improving. I think it would be so lovely to, I mean, that village green is so, I don't usually use the word precious when I talk about, but it is to the community, and all our surveys show that people love that village green. That's, anyway, so anything we can do to support that.
About
effort.
$100,000.
And move it along, well, but move it along at the same time, just knowing, and
Yeah.
you wanted 50 earlier in the meeting, and.
I asked for a lot.
Yeah. Any
Yes, this
other,
gentleman.
the meeting dates are on your agenda. May I have a motion to?
I have one more thing,
Oh.
as always.
Oh, Abby?
Sorry. Last year, we had gotten some special funds for substance misuse that helped fund the pool pass at the library, and I'm just wondering if those funds are still available and if we might be able to renew the pool pass with those funds. We split it 3 ways, the library, the rec, which I don't know if Nicole would be willing to partner again, but the library could probably find a donor for the other third, if not the rec. But I'm wondering if SEP would be willing to sponsor that third again for the pool pass. It is our absolutely most checked out thing in the building.
What's the number?
It would be $430. That was last year's number, and it may have gone up. They haven't sent their new flyer out yet, but last year it was $430 for each of us.
Uh-huh. Or
For,
can we have them?
or split, was it 430 split or 430
No, no,
each?
we
430.
each
We
put
put
430
in
in.
four, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't-
like $1,200.
Yeah.
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 Are you making a motion? Is there discussion?
Why don't we find out the cost first?
I was mostly inquiring if that substance misuse money was still there and if I can come back with an actual number.
There's 1,600 there.
Fabulous. Okay.
And nothing came in specific
We haven't
earmarked
used it,
for that, but
yeah.
we've got 1,600 in.
Okay.
Screen
That could be-
actors?
Well, Screenagers is covered by the opiate funding and caring communities, so.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just a question. So to clarify, the opioid funding was Big Pharma's settlement to the
Oh.
Swanton Village Police Department.
Okay.
And we just were cutting a check for 31,000 and change to our partners to utilize, but I don't know if this is in the scope. That's for you to
I
decide.
think
Could-
it is.
I think it is
that we
too.
could, I could certainly propose purchasing an additional pass, so there would be 2 passes available.
That would be incredible.
I think that, so part of the Screenagers is having this discussion, but then having an ongoing follow-up. So making opportunities for families to have, different events and different available activities and things like
Yeah.
that. So I think that's well within the scope that we
think
had
so, too.
discussed, and I will pass that by Belinda.
That's awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll come back with I'll send a email with the actual number once I get that from Hardak. I'm still waiting, but
And then find out if Rec's gonna
Yes,
go
yep.
in on as well, so then
Yep.
we know what our contribution is.
yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
I mean, I would, if Rec's not, I would propose putting more funding from the healthy communities into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
We could do a couple of things on the motion. We could do an up to a certain amount, or Kirsten was saying we could also do an email once we know the
Yeah.
number,
I think
and
that's the way
have
to-
the
It doesn't have to
steering
be-
committee vote.
Yep.
Okay. So you prefer the second option? Do an
Do the
email
email.
to the
Yep.
steering committee, which is almost all of you, and decide, but know that the disposition is there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
I will just, once again, put in the plug for folks that are, if you've got college students that are coming home looking for summer employment, Crossroads is, I heard from school staff this morning that Crossroads is in desperate need for help. When Notch closed the summer camp program, that left a huge hole in our community for summer, I don't want to say summer care, but it essentially is summer child care for many families. So Crossroads is in need for summer staff especially.
Okay. How do they get to Crossroads?
They can email Molly Lontine. She covers our.
Scared me for a minute.
Molly Lontine,
I don't
Molly
know
Hartman,
about that.
Molly Hartman, Molly Lontine. A lot of people know her by Hartman, so.
Great. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All done. Sorry we're a little late, but we